We will look at Nimzo Indian Leningrad variation. So basically, we'll be looking at all sorts of bishop g5 with knight f3, without knight f3, keeping the bishop on g5. Let's start with the most direct one, white going bishop g5. This is known as the Leningrad variation, which received its name because the theory was developed extensively by players from that city. Spassky was playing this line heavily back in 1960 to 1980, and this was one of his main repertoire against Nimzo. What is the purpose of this line? Black gave a pin, white kind of gives a pin again. White is very ambitious. If black goes c5, white usually tries to play d5 and says that, yeah, in the future I would like to play some e4, e5. And in general, the argument is that you kept your bishop on b4 or not on e7. So I'm trying to exploit the pin. The downside, the obvious downside is we developed our pieces where we would like to castle. We are definitely not going to do long castle at the moment. White, on the other hand, would be castling on the king side, but currently not only any piece, but he has also not moved any pawns. So we go for Benoni structure, targeting on d4. The main move here is by far the most popular move here is d5. Knight f3 castle we will see from fourth move, knight f3 move order. So this will be covered in a separate. This will be covered from transposition. E3 is actually a blunder instantly, and we are winning a pawn. Uh, it's a kind of fascinating that there are approximately more than 200 games where white played e3. This loses a pawn on the spot. We go queen f5. White cannot really protect this knight because we are threatening to take cd4, attacking the knight and also attacking the bishop. So at this point, more or less, the only move is to take here. When we take on c3, take twice. Black is pawn up and the king is in the center. Black is literally winning here. The other option is d takes c5. Doesn't make really sense with bishop on g5. Also, in general, getting into this horrible pawn structure. We go queen a5 here, threatening knight e4, trying to take here. This pawn is also weak. White is more or less obliged to take at this point. We take. We have one double pawn, but he has got triple pawns. And most importantly, once again, we can see white is completely underdeveloped. Queen d4, trying to protect both the pawns. We play e5. Now the only square to make sure these pawns are not going is e3, but then again it kind of hinders from developing the bishop naturally. We go knight a6. We will pick up the pawn eventually. Our knight will have a fantastic post here. Structurally, we are doing better. Our pieces are better developed. Black is better here. Now, the final move is rook c1 before we move to d5. This is saying that, okay, I don't want double pawns, so I'm keeping my rook on c1, protecting my knight on c3. We take, and knight c6. It comes with a tempo. If white moves the queen, we always have the move like queen a5, and again trying to jump on e4. White takes on f6. Also, just point to be noted that if white moves the queen, apart from queen a5, there is also a very strong plan where we can play h6 and move the bishop, and then either include g5 or just open the center with d5. So bishop f6 happens and take. This position really nothing to analyze further. Our king has got a fantastic place here, surrounded by his pawns. This bishop will come from b7. We have double bishop. Apart from that, once again, white has serious issues with his development. And this could be a this could be a target, the pawn on c4. We can also think about playing, keeping our bishop on a6, rook on c8, and then try to jump with the knight to target the c4 pawn. So that's about rook c1. The main move here is d5. Thousands of games have been played with d5. We get some sort of Benoni structure, but our bishop is out and not on, like not just this bishop is out, bishop is spinning here, and once again the king side is underdeveloped. d6, at this point, the very main move is e3. White finally wants to develop. But before we get to e3, let's see some other moves. f3 is the second most popular move. The main idea is white is not willing to give this bishop, but if black goes moves like h6, bishop h4, g5, let's say, black is missing the knight e4 threat. That is the reason why white played f3, and he would like to consolidate his center by playing e4.